Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to the Mindfulness Daily Practice. And welcome to Mindfulness Hour. So today is the time we'll be spending, a bit longer together. So we'll spend an hour together, a little bit of intro, a more casual, not quite so structured today, as well as 40 minutes to do our meditation, followed by, at the end, 10 minutes of discussion and outro, how to go today. So looking forward to leading you in our practice today. So welcome, everyone. What we're practicing today is going to be a mindfulness practice, but with the added piece of self-compassion. So kind of the idea today is very similar to yesterday's meditation, except making it a bit longer. I think what I find is that in these 15-minute meditations we do, I, as the person leading the meditation, I feel like I don't really have the space to really explore the meditation as fully as I'd like to. So I go at a slower pace, spend a little bit more time in our mindful awareness and settling in to the right now before we move into our piece of self-compassion. And so I've got a few little extra things I'll add in with self-compassion today. One thing that I'd like to do in the meditation today as well is, what's your typical reaction to a setback? And so do a little bit of visualization about perhaps a recent setback and see if we can't recall what that inner voice is like. And interestingly, I think in the last few days, I didn't really talk about this inner voice. You know, it's the voice that in the default mode network. So we talked about the brain's default mode network. It's what's active in our minds, in our brains when we're at rest. So people go into the scanner to be to have themselves checked out for, when we're doing studies on meditation, what part of the brain is active. When we're at rest, you find that the brain is not at rest, that the brain is still moving around and thinking about ourselves, thinking about the future, thinking about the past, fantasizing. The one thing that's in common with all of these default mode network kind of thoughts is they're about me. They're about myself. It tends to be, I guess not always, but there tends to be some kind of aspect related to me. And even if we are thinking of others, it's usually someone who's close to me that I'm thinking about. And so, what kind of emotion inside of myself is involved with what's going on with this person. So there's almost always this kind of underlying piece of self that goes along with default network thinking. And default mode network is also characterized by that inner voice. And so that inner voice is the one that, I think the example that I used a few days ago was, you're leaving the house and you notice that your keys aren't in your pocket, and the voice is the one that goes, "Where are my keys?" And you don't say "Where are my keys?" out loud. Well, at least not usually. and then when you look, they're on the table. Oh, there they are, right? There they are. That's the inner voice, right? It's this kind of inner monologue that kind of narrates what's going on. And so this inner voice, when you start being mindful, you start paying attention to it and what's going on with this inner voice, you'll find that a lot of times this inner voice can be very critical and can say things that are worse than what you might say to your worst enemy. We can be really, really harsh on ourselves as we experience setbacks, all kinds of setbacks. And so, what's that inner voice tend to say? And you'll notice, in fact, that what's going on here tends to not be in our control. That these are kind of like these knee-jerk reactions. So, something bad happens, and what's going on. And so this is something for us to explore today as we do our meditation. What's that inner voice like? Is that inner voice an inner critic, who's constantly berating us, constantly telling us that we're no good, and no need to necessarily break down why that's happening. I think just to briefly touch upon it, a lot of us, this is how we were brought up, is that maybe our parents thought if I'm easy on her, if I'm easy on him, then they'll never reach their highest potential. That it's important that I'm really firm, and and I think what maybe our parents don't realize is that there's sometimes it's a borderline cruel kind of talk, and maybe it wasn't like this for you when you're growing up. Maybe maybe your home situation was different, and I guess what's your inner voice like? Is it kind? Is it unkind? And no need to really figure out why it is, but I think sometimes we think that we're letting ourselves off the hook, that we somehow deserve to talk to ourselves in a very cruel way, that we deserve this kind of a verbal punishment almost to ourselves. And the research that we talked about briefly yesterday shows that this is not a productive way of dealing with setbacks. That if you want to build and cultivate your resilience, self-compassion is a better strategy than self-esteem, certainly than berating yourself. And what tends to happen when we berate ourselves is that, in fact, it becomes even harder to stand up again after we've fallen. That kind of because we're recoiling from the own pain, the pain that we cause ourselves through failure, that we don't want to stand up and we don't want to try again, because failure, if for some reason we end up failing again, that cruel voice is going to come back and beat us up yet again. So as we do the self-compassion practice, as we repeat these phrases, and among other things, the idea here is to help to change that voice from being this strong inner critic who can be very cruel into this inner ally who's there for us, who's here to support us. And even when no one else is there, when no one else is around, that you can be your own best friend to support yourself. And I remember Kristen Neff, who's one of the researchers who first began researching self-compassion and its effect on us, from University of Austin. She tells a story about a time when she was on an airplane, and her son is on the autism spectrum, and her son had a breakdown on the airplane, and she was just by herself with her son, and her son is having this meltdown, and everyone on the airplane is looking at her, and the potential for self-judging feelings in that moment. And Kristen, through her practice, instead of having a berating voice, was there for herself. I love you. I'm here for you. I care about you. It's going to be okay, were some of the things that she said to herself to help her get through that time. And I think there's really some power in learning how to talk to yourself in a kind way. So, welcome everybody. That's what we're going to be doing today. Spend a little bit of time in our mindfulness practice, then shift into connection. And yeah, right before we get started, just talk about these three pieces of self-compassion. So one is mindfulness, to be aware. It's impossible for us to shift from a harsh inner critical voice to a kind voice if we don't even know what that voice is like. So the first step is mindfulness, being aware of what's happening right now. And then common humanity. Recognize that your experience is not unique. That the experience that you're having is similar to other human beings, that you are not alone in what it is that you're feeling, that what you feel is common, and we all have feelings like this as well. And then step 3 is offer kindness. And so we'll offer kindness through a few phrases. I'm going to give the 4 phrases that I usually give, but you can add on anything that you feel is going to be supportive for you. In fact, as I'm sitting here thinking, maybe I'll add a 5th phrase in here today. So, all right, you ready to go? Let's go ahead and get into our practice. So sit comfortably. I'm going to encourage you to find, it doesn't need to be some formal meditation posture. I mean, I sit like this because this is comfortable for me, even though it looks kind of formal. So find your comfortable posture. Take a few moments to get settled in. And so sometimes in our mindfulness practice, we're really trying to stay still, to notice all distractions. With this kind of compassion practice, just be easy on yourself. If you find that you want to move, just go ahead and make whatever movement you want. Keep yourself comfortable. Be kind to yourself today. So, if you need to err on the side of rigidity and harshness to self, or err on the side of relaxation and being easy on yourself, I'd say let's go more towards relaxing and being easy on ourselves. So let's take a moment here to see who it is that's arriving today. Who is this person sitting on the cushion? We're different in each and every moment. We are not the same person. We are the angry me. We are the sad me. We are the happy me. We are the relaxed me. We are the tense me. And the chemistry of your body right now is different from how it was 2 seconds ago. The molecules inside of your body are constantly changing as you breathe, as you eat, as you exercise, even your brain as you look, do, feel, experience things. This makeup of me is constantly shifting. So starting with the body, observing who it is that's arriving today, how we are arriving, how we're feeling as we start our practice. So let's just go through the body, observing the crown of the head, the back of the head, the scalp. What do you feel here? Just observing, not trying to feel any particular way, just observing what's already here right now. Observing the eyebrows and the forehead. Do you find any tension here? Observing the muscles around the eyes and the eyes. The nose. The cheeks, the ears, the mouth, the teeth, the gums, the lips, the jaw, the chin. And if as we're scanning through the body you find any tension, is it possible to allow yourself to relax? Just through noticing, oh hey, there's tension here. Maybe I can let go of that. Maybe I can unclench my teeth. Noticing the front of the neck, the back of the neck, the shoulders, the arms, the hands. And now shifting to the chest. Maybe noticing the rib cage expanding and contracting as you breathe. Noticing the heart beating inside the chest. Sometimes this is the center where we feel love and compassion. If we notice it manifesting physically. The abdomen expanding and contracting as you breathe. The upper back, the mid back, the lower back. The pelvis, the thighs, the knees, the lower legs, the ankles, the feet. So now seeing if you can bring awareness to the entire body, all of the physical sensations that you're experiencing here in this moment. As you sit here or lie here, just breathing, just being. And now see if you can shift your attention to your mind. What thoughts are going through your mind? What thoughts have been going through your mind today? Are you agitated? Are you at ease? Maybe when you scanned through the body, you found some areas of tension that you were able to begin linking to some of the thoughts you have today. So what is it that's stressing you out? What is it that you're happy about? And then after noticing the landscape of the mind, bringing attention to the emotions. How are you feeling today? Are you happy? Are you agitated? Are you upset? Can you notice the physical manifestations of your emotions in your body? And even as we've done this check, the you that's showing up may be changing. In fact, the you that's showing up right now is constantly changing. So as we go through this practice, you might begin to keep changing. So the you that came in and the you that comes out of this practice will be different, inevitably. Even if it feels like nothing's different. So this is you. This is who's here today. So is it possible to embrace yourself exactly as you are, without trying to be any better, any different? Just being. And this is the core of our mindfulness practice, just being as we are, right now, right here, without trying to change anything at all. And so let's begin to shift our attention to become aware of the body breathing. So finding wherever it is that you can feel the breath most prominently, most apparently. In the belly, perhaps feeling the abdomen and its expansion and contraction as you breathe. Maybe you notice the chest and the shoulders moving with each breath. Maybe today you're feeling your nostrils, feeling the air moving in and out of the nostrils as you breathe. And if you're undecided as to where to follow the breath, I'd encourage you to bring the attention to the abdomen. So the abdomen can be the most relaxing, tends to be the most relaxing for us. It's feeling the belly expanding as you breathe in, contracting as you breathe out. Expanding, contracting, expanding and contracting as you breathe. So we'll spend a couple minutes in silence, doing our best to hold the attention on the breath. If you ever find that your attention is wandering away from your breath, just take a moment to notice what it is that caught my attention. And then gently let go as you refocus your attention entirely on that physical sensation of breath. feeling the abdomen or wherever you are, expanding, contracting, expanding, contracting. Notice the small details, the minute details of perhaps the belly rubbing against the clothing, stretching and contracting of the skin. Spending a few moments, a few minutes, observing the breath. And now we'll begin to shift our attention. So I'm just going to guide you through a short visualization. So I'd like to encourage you to bring into mind a recent setback that you've had. It can be anything, something small. On a scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 6. So see if you can remember it. Remember the details around it. Who were you with? What was happening? The setback could be, well, maybe you didn't react in the way that you hoped you'd react. Or something didn't go the way that you expected. So bring into mind the details of this setback. Maybe we shouted at someone and felt anger and talked in ways that maybe we regretted. It can be something simple like this. Maybe we were working hard at something and it didn't work out. We felt like we failed. So see if you can bring all of the details about this into your mind. Who you were with, where you were, what time of day it was, the details of the surrounding. And see if you can recall in the moment, in this setback, what were you feeling? What was this inner monologue inside of you saying? Can you recall that moment? Can you recall those words if there were words? So feeling the emotions that were there as well. And now, I'd like to invite you to play that memory back again. But this time, instead of whatever inner monologue was actually happening, replace it with something kinder. It's going to be okay. I'm here for you. I love you. We did our best. It's going to be okay. I'm here for you. I love you. We did our best. Or whatever other supporting phrases can work in that situation. Maybe tailoring what you say to yourself to that situation. And so maybe playing back that memory one more time, again using these kinder words to ourselves. And perhaps setting some intention to remember to use kindness to yourself in the future when you have an inevitable setback in the future. And so now I'd like to invite you to let go of that memory, let go of this visualization. If you find that there are still some strong emotions hanging around with this visualization, on your next inhale, you can clench your fists. And as you exhale, slowly opening the palms. Allowing your breathing to return to your natural pace as you focus once again on the physical sensation of the breath, perhaps at the abdomen. And now I'd like to invite you to shift your attention once again as we begin to move into the portion of today's practice where we cultivate loving kindness and compassion to ourselves. See if you can bring into mind someone who loves you or someone who loved you unconditionally at some point in time in your life. And see if you can remember what it's like to be loved by that person. This person loves you for you, just as you are. And they don't need you to be any different from how you are. That you can just be you. You don't need to be any stronger, or faster, or smarter, or more in control of yourself. This person only wants you to be happy. And in seeing you happy, they're happy too. They just want the best for you. So can you remember what it feels like, what it felt like to be loved unconditionally by another? Their love is for you, just as you are. And so if you can't remember someone who loved you unconditionally, can you imagine what it might feel like to be loved without needing to be any particular way? So as best you can, feeling this unconditional love from another. And now let's see if we can take that love outside of us and bring it inside. So that now we are not only the recipient of this unconditional love, but we are also the one giving it. Can you love yourself in this same way? That you don't need to be worthy or deserving. In fact, you may not feel particularly worthy or deserving. But that does not matter. You can love yourself exactly as you are right now. There's no time like the present. If you're waiting for yourself to be perfect before you love yourself, you're going to be waiting forever. So no matter how you're feeling about loving yourself, give it a try. See if you can love yourself right now in this moment, just as you are. And what does it feel like? Does it have a feeling? So I think some of us are expecting to feel a particular way as we do this practice. Just remember, there is no special way to feel. How you're feeling is how you're feeling right now. And this practice is powerful, whether you're feeling something or not. As we teach ourselves to incline our hearts to kindness and compassion. Learning how to love. as this loving kindness, this compassion towards ourselves is the foundation of external, outward compassion as well. Harshness to self often manifests as harshness and criticality to others as well. So see if you can be kind to yourself. And if this part of the practice is particularly challenging, you don't know how to love yourself, what can be helpful is to see if you can bring some phrases into your mind to help to incline the mind to kindness. So if you like, repeating after me. May I be happy and contented. May I be happy and contented. May I be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May I be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May I be healthy and whole to whatever degree possible for me. May I be healthy and whole to whatever degree possible for me. May I be at peace. May I have ease of well-being. May I be at peace. May I have ease of well-being. May I have the courage to love myself exactly as I am. May I have the courage to love myself exactly as I am. And so let's repeat these one more time. May I be happy and contented. May I be safe and protected. May I be healthy and whole. May I be at peace and at ease. May I have the courage to love myself exactly as I am. May I be happy and contented. May I be safe and protected. May I be healthy and whole. May I be at peace and at ease. May I have the courage to love myself exactly as I am. And so go ahead, continue, if you like, repeating these phrases to yourself. And you can add on anything you feel may be appropriate to cultivating kindness to yourself. If you find yourself wandering, being harsh to yourself, just treat it like any other distraction in our mindfulness practice. Just let go as best you can when you notice it happen. Come back to the present or come back to the phrases. As you say these phrases, don't focus on the words as much as the meaning. Focus on the feelings behind the words. The feeling of being happy. The feeling of being protected. The feeling of being whole. The feeling of being peaceful. The feeling of being loved. So we'll spend another minute or so in this portion of the practice before we begin to shift. So keep it up, you're doing great. And now on your next exhalation, letting go of these phrases, and just coming back to the breath, to the body, to this moment. Feeling the breath coming in, feeling the breath going out. And now who's here? How does the body feel? What's going through the mind? What is the state, the emotions? And so let's focus our attention together for the next 3 breaths. Just stay fully focused on these breaths before we begin to draw our practice to its close. And so now, we'll draw this practice to its close with 3 rings of the bell. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for practicing with me. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for making this time for yourself. Maybe take this moment to thank yourself for having made the time to be here and to practice today. Thank you all for being here. I know some people just want to be here and not be active in the chat, and I think that's wonderful too. I hope that you got a lot out of the practice today, and you're always welcome to come here and practice with me. This is the Mindfulness Daily Practice. I'm here most of the time, 6 days out of the week, and which I suppose is a good segue for me to say next week. I'm not sure when my next live meditation is going to be, because I'm moving. So this is the last meditation that you're going to see from in this place. So next time I'll be somewhere else. So looking forward to sharing that new space with you. It is a little bit stressful moving, but I have my mindfulness practice to help keep the stress under control. Bumpy shares. I was very stressed after work and felt the urge to flee into eating chocolate and playing video games, but on the way to the grocery store, I decided to handle things differently. I decided to exercise and meditate, and so I did. Feel freed after this session. Thanks, Bumpy. Barbara shares, you will have a lot of stimulus response situations to observe during the move. Thanks. Thanks so much. Thanks, Barbara. You are absolutely right. And thanks, Roxanne. Thanks for your donation. Frank's doing good. Are you doing good, Frank? How's Frank? Yeah, there he is. He's always joining in. He's here usually at the beginning of the meditation, and maybe a bit in the middle, and then he always comes back here at the end. All right. Well, I'm going to get started on my Saturday. So thank you all for being here. Thanks for sharing this time and space with me. And let's close our practice the same way we always do. So let us reinforce our loving kindness to ourselves. And since this is foundational to our loving kindness outward, let's also send our compassion outwards to all other sentient life. So thanks, Ren. Thanks, Nadine. Thank you all for being here. Repeat after me if you like. May I be happy and peaceful. May all who are watching, listening right now, together with me, may we all be happy and peaceful. May all sentient life, all human beings around the world and all other life. May we all be happy and peaceful. Okay. Keep an eye out. Ryan's Daily Mindfulness Circle. We've got, I'll keep you posted as to what's going on. Just look in the live events as well. I'll schedule the live events as soon as I know what's going on. And I hope to see you soon next week. Until then, bye-bye.